Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
Mutatia
Mutera bashuma
enyabo
mwene Mirundi
tatia mukubi wa babbi abasoma balinkai
mbakoledde bano mwene kamba bulire singa ne mange muwa ku sente mu
bamutwaire ku sente bamwebaze
mbakoledde let me tell you tuyina kye tuyita open indicators open indicators kitegeeza teweetaga kunnyonnyola abantu nti oba bagagga oba si bagagga
nti oyo mugagga n'empisa
zaabwe bakolaki
baziwulira ssente
bakiwulira era ekimu ku bizibu mu ebyo muyina lwaki abantu bakaba nti baavu it is a change of situation ku mulembe gw'obote neyayina ssente nga tasobola kugula moto
ng'atya nga kiki
nga bagitwala kakati all even those who had money bali batambulira mu taxi
enaku zino n'atalina iseba ayina moto
ozimba ennyumba bakubuuza eyo yaani
olina okunyonyola
mu Kampala ng'omala gikonkona ebeera enkadde oba kalina lyamala givugamu oba omunene ow'amagye
ne balowooza nti yiye
ne bagitya
ko njowulira kati bwe singa
kakati wadika bukedde awandika nga wadika nga obwenzi obubeera omwo amaka gasasika andi kuva eno ogenda kulaba TV eri
ku kyalemu
TV ng'ate era nga wa UPC yagiyina bagikiba
nga bw'ogigula nga
kakati tudde mbagamba nti omusiraamu atalina sente zyakyamisana bw'omulaba mu kisiibo ga nti naye asiibye naye nga yasangibwa asiiba ye yasiiba
banga lyonna asiiba
yes kakati yawa problem nti mulaba ababbi abayina ate ababbi abo bwe babbye essente bava mu primitive families tukita rivalism Muganda does not dispose his wealth or expose his wealth tekiriyo
bantu mwe mwogerako nti wa Mirundi bayinamu
kati banu tukita rivalism kyovolaba ekyokubirira ye problem gye muyina nti Museveni si yabasiza obwavu but they have failed to study the changing trend. Tuyina kye tuyita middle class. Middle class kitegeeza omusajja yajja wano n'agenda mu Lwenzori yali anoonya mazzi gakunywa nga ne mu conference center mubeeramu bigiraasi ono n'aginywerako n'ono nakijjaaga
yiwamu
bottled water yagisanga mu Seraton mwokka. This man who started the Lwenzori mineral water
kati olwo gyasanga mu Seraton yali yaani
oyoba yali evuddewa okyabulirayo kolera oyo omusajja wa water yagijjawo kolera ani naye namuyamba baali bamututte nti amazzi gali contaminated ne bakatwala ne Europe wakyaliwo obutunda ti omukazi atunda emmere walaba abantu beeyongedde n'ayiwamu era kitegeeza bbi bw'onywedde naye enkuba yatonnya mu Kampala ennaku ezi Sebagala n'awangula akalunga buli wagamba kolera
era kyekyamutwala
gwolese kolera Sebagala n'alyoka afuna chance
ti abaana baddira amazzi ne baddira ecupa ya bottled water ne bagikuba empiso singa bo basibwa mayisa
abanaye n'okwatibwako
tuntavero kakati gwe abadde atunda obutunda kitegeere ti obutunda okujjawo nga buli packed tukyalina customer
wetutuusaawo
si Museveni yabaavuwazizza but kasiita nagambo ya Amelia kyambadde nti mukwate abaana 10 mubeewa kasiita mubasomese the training kuba beekalakasa ne bakola ki they are fair to understand tekati ennyama yadibye ate abantu balya ennyama buli lunaku kati ogiseera ogiguzaani ng'enkoko baga nti bw'ogirya n'ogiddamu ng'ennaku 7 tezinagwako olwala
ngero olina girya leero n'olina ennaku 7 zimala okuyitawo
neddi bwe kyali
yes today abaana baffe ate gweseera ettooke abaana baagala makoloni nze my first time to see makoloni in 78 saalya era nsiriŋŋanyi
oba walowooza zino enfaana.
So the changing trend nti I dress nicely every day. Uyinza okuga nti olaga wanedda bwembeera I must buy a nice suit katwambala fashion gwalinda Christmas togenda kutunda
zidibye
zikyala nazisoma nazisibwamu
waliwo nezibuuzaako
omukazi ng'ano bakuba tebamugulidde kadi ng'abasomye emisana be bagulidde engoye kati nze ng'omwana omuto nga njagala nnyo okusoma misa y'ekiro ng'agatamiivu gavuma faazi eby'obuwemu faazi olinga kino
ati bibeere mu madirisa nga byatamidde
kakati n'olyoka olaba bavudde mu mwenge bagenda okusoma ekiro basoma ye azibiriza otulo tumutute di n'amagambo agabwatemu nga byenjagala mu misa y'ekiro faani
kulaba bebaka ne bazibirira
n'aduumula ate n'addayo n'akankabala bwati kakati you people unless you are taught you are dealing with the middle class tetujja kutunda kuyidya ennaku mmeka kati lunaku lukulu omukazi yafuna mwe mutegeere zisigenda ku byambaga ebyo naye bakugamba ti omugole tebamwambala
kitegeeza ki
nti olugero lwagenda okukyusizaamu nolwabaddemu tewali azze ku mbaga alulina
ate bw'obanga oli mugenyi
anti kyenkubuulira ti you must look gye babazikima engoye ezo kyazirikiti that level
omugole tebamwambala mu suuti eringa ey'omugole
leeta ya bbeeyi.
Not poverty created by Museveni. You have failed to provide the answers and the demands to an emerging middle class. Nti engatto tetukyayina waka nti simanyi ngule bulasi naki abasajja bajjanga okukanika naddeyo ekyemisana n'alya nga woteri tezikola
ng'alina kudda wuwe
ekudda wuwe
ate abalabanga esekwawo bamirambi nga bayambuka
bababuuza omutwe waguwonyeza mbale kati bukedde akubye
nti
kyembadde mbagamba nabawonya walabye accident organize baali batwala they were taking organize era nabaweereza message eggulu baadde batudde mu meeting
nobalengera
mbalaba waliwo Museveni gwe yagoba mu cabinet najja nga awunya omugoba yonna atemba yagalangawo puroguramu zange atemba bamuyise Lwampaka bamuguliringa ennaku 3 ku Zoom kati bamwetaaga wakutemba yabadde anyumiza banne nti omusajja nfumudde mu cabinet
nga bikaayi.
Yes, abaana 15,000 abe batwala ebweru bafu. They were taken and killed in India and their bodies are balina kati ekipa bakiyita harvesting and their organs were harvested. Amawulire ga Uganda go bagambye tekagenda kuddamu kuwandiika bagaganye anti bagawa sente luli kano ne kazibba kano 10 billion kantu yako kana kayina obutu obukajagaladde kazibba abachina babawa nekagenda n'omani nekajjayo sente era I want to tell you Ministry of Education ejja kuba tawanya nnyo. I will not be surprised nti Museveni yakoze controversial statement omusango guno gw'amaanyi nnyo basooka ne baraisinga $30 million kati baguze balooya abalala
musango munene
$30 million sente bazibba mu gavumenti
bote bayina
Ministry of Education was on the targeted mubajja sente finance kano kabadde kadduse kagenza okutunda ettaka ly'abantu esango bbe mu agriculture akakatemba I sent them a message
nobagamba mbalaba
anti ndedde babadde bantawanya nanyini buyinza oyo ajoge nnyo yangoba mu State House navumye nazaalawe ne mu emyaka 9 tuyingidde ogw'omwenda yes jonna mubatudde ne mumalayo abadde atuma abantu do you know nti nabine gondi eno retreat yaba advisors was intended for me
okakasa
banzitireyo ngati nze mbamanyi
tewali nyeyo
ani agendayo president namugamba bwe kibanga nakeera nenkwata ebitabo byange nensoma buchamani nga teyasoma tubeera tutya ku grade ye mu mulumu emu kati kankubuuze Amelia Kyambadde yasomye ku bwa advisors singa oyo Buchaman yawanisa omukono naga you have not included mine lwaki siraga wange. I'm supporting Museveni but I'm not part of government. I cannot be an advisor and a Buchaman advisor. Then what was the purpose of going to school? If a car, a person who has boarded a plane and a person who has walked on foot land in Nairobi the same time.
Very expensive.
No, I'm not an advisor.
What are you?
Kakuba nechikuba. Nenchibuza kisajja gwe. Waliake mpitambi mukatogo. Kubanga emyaka 8 temumpitangako. Abuye babini invited me. Why do you want me to this? Bakikoza ku Christmas. Kozi nze nabawulidde dda. Era omusajja agambye omuntu omu te omusajja aliko ebibye. Abakulinya yali awedde. Nze mwatuma abantu nsewava. Simanyi tukoze pate negonde ne speaker ne semwogerera weni nawe tukwagala yali agikozeeyo sewava ayinza okutuuza abantu abo nga mutumye mumanyi kati yabula kakati nange kye nabakoze. Museveni yabakola akakodyo yateekawo biliyoni ezi 3 n'abagaa nti mugende mwogere naye kasa mwogera naye
za kukwogereza
kasa mwogera naye nange ngenda muyita muli warding impossibility olaba yaddira ono n'amuwaayo owe yennyini ekyenda kye n'amuwaayo bamusibe naye mwali we nategeera nti aweddemu asigaza akalubindi nakeewuba mu mpato.
Now the media, yes, and the reality of the whole program. So that is what we really have to think about as a team. As a people of one thought, a people of almost one tribe, a people of a clear vision, we should always have to think about the outcome. So we need to go through this struggle. We have to surpass our adversaries and at least we get to where we need to go. We cannot keep waiting forever because looking at the situation right now, everybody's now trying to center their focus on us because it is the central issue that is being discussed within the entire Empower elite. So it is landing on us. But yes, that here we have to be very careful and we have to work together. Let us not ignore each other's call. Let us not ignore each other's need for cooperation. Let us not ignore the fact that our solidification is what is going to identify us better, is what is going to create us stronger, is what is going to graduate us into reasonable and rational people. So that is what I think in my mind. If we can work together and handle this together, then it is the best task we can ever have. I agree with you, particularly when you look at the whole situation in which we are currently. It requires us to work, to unite as one. It is only until we have united as one that we can work and defeat the situation. The biggest challenge we have is how now Tamale Mirundi is confronting the issue. He's not eliminating the fact that some people require some dignity to be reserved. He's just thumping it harder all the time to ensure that at least we lose it out completely. And it's something nobody wants. It is something not all of us wish. So that is a great challenge that we are having today. But anyhow, we need to be a people of great substance. I'm telling you, we have to be a people of great substance. So, to me, this is what I think. We have sought for the legal advice, and they have given us direction on how to do. Now the next thing we need is only to look for the funds that are going to assist us to maneuver through the storms which are apparent right now. They have surfaced and we cannot retract them. We simply have to go viscously into them and face off with whatever the situation is. Now, if it becomes public and local information, we are advised to make a lot of head turning. You get it. So many people are going to lose it. And above all, it is going to catalyze the findings of the investigators in case they come on the ground when the case kicks off. So we still have to be very careful about the situation, and the onus is on all of us to see how best we are going to deal with the situation. So I'm trying to listen to the whole situation. Now, real advice from those people. So it is going to be very important and the guiding principle. And if we take it very well, I believe Ruhanga will have mass on us, and we shall deliberately defeat the situation. At least we are strong people, we are very kind people who are also cunning somehow when there is need. So we need to represent our own selves. We need to solidify our content such that we are heavy enough to propel ourselves forward. And that is what I'm looking at.
Now, another key point that we are looking at right now is what if we find the means of compromising a person like Tamale Mirundi and his media group. Let us talk to the people who are handling his pages, who are handling his cameras, who are handling his productions. These are very important people. These are very important people. If you cannot talk to him directly, every radio station has him. Every radio station, every TV station where he's hosted, there are producers. These are the producers you need to talk to. They can sometimes leave out what is not necessary. So it can help. Otherwise, if this information spreads at a rate it is doing right now, we are going to face it rough. Me, I'm telling you. We are going to face it rough. It is not a kind situation. It is not a calm situation that everybody is going to simply, find themselves where they want without any effort. It is about self-proposal. Self-proposal is what is going to enable us to move, to create our own selves, to galvanize our own security and future content. We should think about these things. We should not just look on.
No, in particular, I support you because when you look at the whole situation, it is in balance, and it simply requires almost every one of us to contribute. It nearly requires everyone's contribution. It requires everyone's participation, active participation, not the passive one where somebody simply comes around to look without creating any ideas. We have to have lawyers who are going to assist us to move forward. Now the old should go. The usual practices should go. You realize we are very many people being investigated in the same range, and at least His Excellency was given the right to first of all overcome the political situation which we have been going through, and thereafter it would require him now to start an executive investigation. Then he writes back to those people who consulted him to see if his intelligence can help dig out the people practicing the vice. So that is the whole thing, and that simply means we are in a double tragedy. It is a double trouble. It is a double dread. That while we are striving to achieve the best, the double impact from either side is likely to bring us down swiftly. So we don't want a third party, and that third party could be the Tamale Mirundi effect. He's making it public information, and when you make it public information, then it creates a lot of discomfort in the area. It makes a lot of discomfort elsewhere. Outside, at the end of the day, you become 100% a victim, and a victim of guilt. So in the whole situation, we need to think about how we are going to overcome this, how we are going to overcome these challenges, and before they turn out to become problems. So that has to be my responsibility, and I think we can fix it. We can fix it. When I talked to Uncle Sam, he was very much unwilling to open up because he was simply telling me, most of you come to me when you have problems. And most of these problems require money, require legal support. But I'm also, my hands are also tied. That is what he was telling me. I'm very broke. By now, we know the greatest challenge we have is what Tamale Mirundi goes out and says to the public. And it is no longer just the public, it is to the world, because whatever is being said, it percolates through across the borders, to the internet, to the cyberspace, and that means it is accessible globally. Now, if it does that, now the next responsibility we had was simply to tight-rip him, such that he does not have a mention of all such things. And it all required, all it requires is possibly to sit down and discuss this whole thing with him. We have talked and over-talked about it. But there could be an invisible effort which we may not know where it comes from. There could be somebody, and it can be shocking somebody, because they know whatever we are doing, they know whatever we are processing and whatever we are doing. These efforts of trying to compensate Tamale could be frustrated by even the president himself, because the first time it was done, I personally contributed, but it was captured. The entire route was captured. I think it was even used for campaigns. But being the principal, I think he can reproduce that money, but possibly was just calculating the time. Because I think there is a feeling that a lot of money could send him out of this, his roles, his apparent roles, and he goes into something else. So this is where we are, and this is how we be, and this is how we do. So we shall try to see how best we are going to handle the situation without the so much money we are used to having. And then we see how we can win. Because at the end of the day, you have to fix yourself and fit into the situation. You cannot override the situation, because nature is nature. It's always more powerful. And it requires a lot of effort. If you are to oppose gravity, like an aircraft, then you need fuel and functioning engines. The moment you fall short of that, then you know the gravity is going to crush you. So that is the whole situation that currently we are faced with, and I really need your support, and your support should be eminent. Everybody should feel concerned, because it is not my role. It is not any single individual's role, but it is every person's role to see that at the end of the day, we have a solid defense that is going to protect us, our integrity, our future, that of our children, then grandchildren. We need to think about it. The moment we fall short of that, we are finished and completely finished. That is exactly. So in the absence of the funds that we really needed, then coupled with the scarcity of legal support, because this remains a very secret case. We cannot make it public. It should not appear in any mainstream news, and that should be our primary battle, by the way. Because if Tamale is talking about it, of course it has a very large audience. But at least a certain cluster of people may not take it and digest it internally and grandly, if I may say. So it leaves some space. A vacuum of information is still left there, and that is what we want to capitalize on. By the time it becomes public information, then we shall be the victors. Let it come at a time, what I meant, when we have already won this case. But now the process is very long, very expensive, coupled with chokes and delays because of the coronavirus. Somebody cannot easily just travel from here to there. There are several other things that need to be prepared before just a person moves in to do this and that. Now currently, we managed to get the full copy of the case, what is required by the United Nations Human Rights Watchdog. Then there is also another petition from the International Court of Justice. So we are looking at all of this. It is what should aid our lawyers to create a defense. And we trash this as an allegation. And the best way to do this is to deny, currently to disinform the public. This should not be public information. But Tamale Mirundi is really working around the clock to make it public information. And nobody is coming out boldly to tell him, you know what, let us preserve this. I'm very disappointed that even the principal himself is not doing anything about it, and yet he's aware that Tamale Mirundi keeps hitting at this, and yet he has more people to protect than people would be willing to destroy. The moment it goes out of hand, I think at one time